The Paramount days of the spaghetti western didn't last very long, but they sure made a huge impact on Hollywood. These were western set films directed by Italians, and they had a mass of devoted fans, especially the ones that were directed by Sergio Leone. A Fistful of Dollars, For a Few Dollars More, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, Once Upon a Time in the West were all considered classics from this time frame. One of the actors who starred in one of these Leone films praised the experience and loved the direction that Leone gave, but he had some real issues with safety on the set. For Eli Wallach, who played Tuco in the film The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, the ugliness extended way farther than the actual screen. It actually touched him personally. Eli was a real versatile and popular actor, and his career covered more than 60 years. He was a prominent stage actor, and he studied method acting under Sandy Meisner, who had developed a real innovative approach to acting instruction known as the Meisner technique. He was primarily a stage actor, but he appeared in numerous films, such as The Magnificent Seven, The Misfits, How the West Was Won, and his career showed a longevity that's not usually seen in Hollywood. In 2010, he appeared in Roman Polanski's Ghost Rider and Oliver Stone's Wall Street, Money Never Sleeps. The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly is probably one of the most influential spaghetti westerns that there is. The story follows three rugged gunslingers who are trying to find buried Confederate gold during the Civil War. Blondie was played by Clint Eastwood, and he's probably the most memorable character in the film. But Eli Wallach just takes over the role of Tuco. He plays a real fast-talking, comedical genius. In a Western, it's so hard to find comedy when you're shooting things up, but he is consistently hilarious in this movie. The bad character in it is played by Lee Van Cleef. Now, initially, the director wanted an Italian actor to play Tuco, but he wasn't sure that the Italian actor could actually pull off the comical side of the role. He was really impressed with Eli Wallach's natural comedic ability when he saw him in How the West Was Won. He actually contacted Eli and offered him the role, stating that he wanted him to show the same dirty, gritty humor that made his performance in How the West Was Won so great. Eli was initially really reluctant to actually accept the offer, but he changed his mind when Sergio showed him his previous film, For a Few Dollars More. You see, the two basically shared the same bizarre, twisted sense of humor, and this kind of connection led them to be lifelong friends. Clint Eastwood was not so sure about Eli Wallach as the choice for Tuco. He thought that Tuco might overshadow his own character. Eastwood only accepted the role by modifying his contract to where he got 10% of the film's profits in the United States and a considerable amount of money more than he originally was offered. In Eli Wallach's autobiography published in 2005, he recalled the filming of several very dangerous scenes for the film. He praises the director Leone for being brilliant, but he really criticized him for not paying much attention to the safety of the actors during the filming of dangerous scenes. There were 3 accidents during the filming of The Good, Bad, and the Ugly that almost left Eli Wallach 6 feet under. There was a point that he went to get a drink out of a bottle, and he accidentally drank acid that was placed real clumsily by a technician beside his prop bottle filled with soda. He was rushed to the hospital, and fortunately, the contents of his stomach were immediately pumped out, and he was able to return to the set. In another time, he was filming a scene where he was seated on a horse with a prop noose around his neck. A fake pistol was shot and fired, and the noose broke. But the shot frightened the horse, and it started running with Wallach still on its back. Wallach couldn't free himself because his hands were tightly tied behind his back for the scene. That horse ran and ran for almost a mile before some of the film crew members were able to catch up to it, calm it down, and actually free him from this unbelievable setting. He escaped death once more. The final thing that happened during the filming of the movie, it was just by sheer luck that Eli Wallach was not decapitated by a train that was passing. During a very elaborate scene, Eli Wallach and another man were chained together. The two men were supposed to jump out of the train, and they successfully pull that stunt off, and they land on the ground outside the train. Eli is able to overtake the other gentleman that's attached to him and does away with him. The problem is he's still chained to him. He takes his body and sets him up on the tracks and waits for another train to come by. Eli lays on the outside rail of the track with his head down. As the trains come by, he's laying there, and technicians forget that there's these huge cast iron steps that jut out from each train car. Eli had to remain on the ground until all the cars of the train had passed over him before he could raise his head. One of these steps could have easily taken his head off. Eli Wallach was married to stage actress Ann Jackson. They were married for 66 years. He was also a strict teetotaler, never let liquor touch his lips, and he once asked director John Huston for advice on how to play a drunk during the filming of The Misfits. Eli Wallach died on June 24th, 2014. His wife Ann died April 14th, 2016. She was 90 when she passed away. Thank you, Eli Wallach, for the outstanding characters that you played through the years. Your characters are probably some of the most memorable that we see in movies. Excellent job. Nobody could have done it better. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll continue to chase the classics.